Hey guys, it's me, Maddie, and today, let's talk. I'm gonna make this somewhat brief, knowing that all of you have the retention span of a 2-year-old. So, with that in mind, let's talk gambling. Everyone's favorite hobby, addiction, vice, whatever you want to call it. It's big, and when out of control, it can become a big problem. I'm mostly going to be speaking from experience on this one, only because it takes one to know one, basically. It takes a gambler to know that gambling's bad and that sometimes it's really not worth it. Basically, gambling, in some situations, it's not regulated. Not nearly as much as it should be, at least. Like, sure, you can plaster a little, written warning, hey, gamble at your own risk, or hey, please gamble responsibly. But at the end of the day, do we actively believe that people are going to listen to that? Especially if they haven't witnessed the repercussions firsthand. I say this because one weekend I was, playing my little games on Star Rail, and a certain character came out, and I was super excited to get the character, and I was like, hey, I've been pretty lucky so far with the other characters that I pulled for. I hadn't lost a 50-50. I liked my odds, and the problem was I didn't have as much currency as I thought I did. And I was like, oh, this isn't good, because by the end of the currency I didn't have the character I wanted. So I was like, hey, it's okay. I'll just, spend a little money, buy some jade. Nothing too major. Mind you, I didn't make it a habit of spending money on Honkai Star Rail. It wasn't really that much of a priority to me. I didn't really feel the need to, especially since, if you play the game like you're supposed to, you'd get all the resources you'd need for the most part. And if you gambled responsibly, you'd be fine. But, I was a little ambitious when pulling for this character, and I was like, hey, it's okay, I'll just spend a couple bucks, get some more jade, nothing too major. So I did. And I was like, okay, this time for sure. I didn't get the character. I wasn't even close still. I was like, you know what? Okay, whatever, fine. It's my money. I can splurge a little. It's okay. It's not like I'll be spending it on anything anytime soon anyway. Mind you, I didn't have a job at the time. So this is all money that I had saved up, and it was just, it was sitting there. It could be easily used for my own whims, which is what happened. I was like, hey, it's okay, I'll just spend a little more. What's the harm? And so I did. And I still didn't get the character that I wanted. Not only that, but I ended up losing my 50-50. And I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. What is going on? Why is my luck so bad now? So then I proceeded to spend a little bit more money. So I'm like, it's okay. Maybe I'll get it early. It's okay. Just please, just give me the character I want. Ooh, we're shaking a lot. Sorry, guys. I still didn't get the character, and I was like, You know what? I'll put the game down. I'll stop spending money. We'll call it a day. This is not worth it. It's not okay. It turns out I ended up spending well over $150 for absolutely no reason, because at the end of the day, I still did not get the character I wanted. Not only that, but when I came back to pull on the banner, because I finally had, enough currency to try again, the banner cycle had reset, and we were on to the next banner. And I cried. I don't know why, but I cried, and I was like, I can't believe this happened. I waited all this time. I talked so extensively about how excited I was to get this character, only for me to not get him. If you guys know who I'm talking about, which I've mentioned it before, just thank you for thank you for knowing the lore, because that was a hard time. Hard times had fallen, and I was a wreck. Anyway, I say all this to say that it's not okay. It's not fun. It does more harm than good half the time. Most of the time, actually, because if you stop and think about it, you're spending money on a game. Not only is it on a game, though, it is like it's an image. It's a character in a game. It's not real. It has no real benefit besides boosting your serotonin levels. And while that is like a really big bonus towards, gambling, at the end of the day, what have you really gained from it besides, bragging rights? Like, yeah, look at me. I have E6 Kafka. Like, what? Oh, that must have cost you a fortune. Why do you have that? Like, and I will say, it's different if you have disposable income. However, at that point, I'd be like, don't you have other things you could spend your little disposable income on? But to each their own. It's another thing if you're playing this game and you don't have the means to spend money, but you still choose to. Why? It's not good for you. There are things that you need. This specific character is not one of them. Sure, you may think that, and it may feel that way, but once you cross that hurdle of it's a game, they'll keep coming back. They're called cycles for a reason. They cycle through the same couple characters, and they throw in some new ones every now and again. Once you cross that psychological hurdle that you don't have to be the first person to get this character the first time around, you will be okay. You'll realize that it's not worth the mental strife or the money you're contemplating spending. Unless you're a Eula fan, then honestly, you know what? Do what you gotta do, because no one could have seen her not having a rerun for 3 years. That was very unfortunate. I'm so sorry, guys. But for any other character that isn't Eula, it's okay. It's okay. Just spend your money on something better, something that'll last longer. Because what you're doing is gambling. You're gambling your money away. And the only difference between this type of gambling and real world gambling at a casino is that there is no possibility of you getting your money back. You are not profiting at all. And I'm not saying that to, downplay the effects that gambling at a casino has, because that's a whole different ballpark that I have no expertise in whatsoever. But gambling, all the same, has this give and take aspect. You're giving your money, and what are you taking away from it? Not really anything. If anything, it's taking your money. And what is it giving you in return? An E4 Bailu. Dude, what are we doing? I think gacha should be more regulated when it comes to gambling, because there should not be a scenario where someone is spending thousands of dollars, all of their money saved up, and going bankrupt. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know. We've all kind of heard the story before. It's an old one, but it happened. That was real life. But that shouldn't be your real life. So, just a little PSA. Please gamble responsibly, or don't at all. You don't have to. Don't ever feel like you need to. Don't let anyone pressure you into spending money just to get this new character. Like, oh my gosh, Mulan came out. I gotta spend all my money just to get her and her signature. No, you don't have to. It's gonna be okay. I know you probably don't want to wait for her rerun if you don't end up getting her, but it's okay. It's gonna be okay. That's all I have to say. Like I said, speaking from experience, that day ruined me. It was the first of many instances where I really had to take a step back and be like, wow, I can't believe I did that. So, yeah. Gamble responsibly, or don't gamble at all. If you can't trust yourself, don't do it. Or at least set a limit for yourself. Give yourself a little room for mistakes. Set a little limit. But you need to learn self-control. Bye, guys.